It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay. Enjoying the view from PlayStation.
So I told my guy Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another fabulous edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay, showing you what I do with my Roku. That's the me part of it. The rest of it is the Roku. Put those two together, and you get Me and My Roku. It's not that I don't mind what you do. It's just better if I just show you what I do. And then you just make up your own mind from there. It's all good. So on my show here today, got a couple things going on. Finally made a decision on a cable replacement service. Some alone time, taking care of a sick animal, and a couple of philosophical questions that have been kind of popping up lately. So lots to discuss. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Okay. So here at the house, we kind of had some trauma last week. We noticed one of our cats was not doing so well. So we took him to the emergency, and about $5,000 later, we got our cat back. I had to have a little surgery and a little bit of a prolonged stay. And then from there, they said, well, he needs to rest. He needs to stay in a cage. He needs to have one of those cones of shame so he doesn't lick himself and get the stitches out or anything like that. So while that was going on, and then now since the recovery, all is well now, he's fine. He wants to be a cat again, which is a good sign. But try and tell a cat not to be a cat, that just doesn't work. Like this dog at my feet right now, I can just tell him, hey, dude, settle down, sit down, relax, and he'll do it. A cat, on the other hand, wants to be a cat. But, long story short, it means more Roku time. So, despite the tragedy and all that stuff, tragedy averted, at least the benefit is, the silver lining in this dark cloud is more Roku time. So I decided to give another cable alternative a try. There was one left on the list where I tried Fubo a couple weeks ago, and thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Well, here's the long and short of it is there's no perfect solution. They're all good. There's just one will do this a little better, and this has a little better price for some of this, and then that. So if this was you and your Roku, and you didn't need sports or anything like that, the best value is Philo. If you need everything, they'll pretty much do it all. I still think PlayStation View is the winner, and that's what we eventually went with. We did try DirecTV Now, and we tried it for a night. And DirecTV Now, thank you. You did very well. It was fine. In order to get anything halfway decent, you needed to get the big package, though, and if we had kept it, it would have been an extra $70. Now, we have some room to play with because we got a little break from our cable company for a year, but that was still a bit much. And the big thing for me was why I canceled it like the right next day is no Discovery Script shows. Now, they're becoming kind of a necessary evil, too. I'm not sure if I agree with everything they do, and some of the shows kind of just end up being all the same, but they kind of got you with some things like the Food Network. For me, that's why it's Me and My Roku. You could do something different, and if maybe you needed HBO and Cinemax and some of the sports channels, then boom, DirecTV Now, soon to be renamed AT&T Now. Then it was very good. It just wasn't for us. And the next day, I finally decided all this testing around and all that stuff since January, back with PlayStation View, and we'll probably stay there through the football season. We'll see. Who knows? So anyway, this now completes the circle of all Sling TV, YouTube TV, Fubo, Philo, and now DirecTV Now, and then PlayStation View. So out of those 6, like I said, they're all good. They're all fine. They'll all do something for somebody enough to rot your brain. If local channels are a thing for you, most of them work. And I guess there's some blackouts going on with CBS and some of them, but then you would just get CBS All Access, so you're fine. So don't fret. They're all good. There's no wrong decisions. It's a personal decision. And since this is me and my Roku, PlayStation View is the winner for now.
Fan the top. Oh, 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 yeah.
Woohoo. All right. So, a couple of philosophical questions that have been kind of going through the universe a little bit. Not that, we're curing cancer or anything like that or solving the immigration problem or anything like that, but there are some questions that asked, and maybe there isn't really the greatest answer in the whole wide world, but one of them was, can you use Roku? I mean, do you have to be a cord cutter to use Roku? Can you still use Roku even though you have cable television? And the answer is, hell yeah. It doesn't matter. There's some people out there, and they're cord cutters, and they have news, and they do YouTube videos and all that stuff, and they're very, stressed about, how to break from the high cost of cable television. Cost is relative to anything. You can end up paying for a whole bunch of stuff through the Roku for programming and whatever you want. Now, the beautiful thing about Roku, in my opinion, since it's me and my Roku, is that there's plenty of out there that's just out there. And you wouldn't discover it if you had cable TV. Cable TV says, here's your guide, here's how much you paid for, and here's what you get. Okay? And that's wonderful. You add internet then, and then you add a Roku, and there's even more. So, in a sense, there is value in cable television if you do one of their bundle deals and getting cable and internet. Okay, I can see the value in that, and there's nothing wrong with that. We don't do that. In this process of me and my Roku, we cut the cord a long time ago. So we are literally cord cutters, even though we use cable for the internet. But it's okay. So obviously, if some people want their Netflix, their Hulu, and their Amazon TV, that's all they want. And some cable companies are putting that on their box as part of their service. A lot of TVs now, obviously, are coming with that, or Blu-ray players have those apps. To me, the Roku is a little bit better, and you can do that with cable television, or you can be a cord cutter like us, and you can do that. The second question that's coming out there is, do you want one app that'll do everything, or do you want a multiple of apps with one login? Ponder that question. That's kind of what I'm going through right now. The question came up since Sling TV, which is another cable TV alternative. We've used it. We like it. It's fine. I eventually don't keep it for very long, usually for more than a month. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. I had it for a month recently and have let it go since. Was considering it again, and then, because one of the things on that is what PlayStation View does is that they'll allow their login on all the other apps. So ESPN, anything of the authentication channels. I'm really learning that word well now. You can use PlayStation View's login to get all those, authentication up there. I was almost there. Anyway, to authenticate. So that's one thing that PlayStation is very good for, is that it can authenticate all those channels, all those apps. Sling TV doesn't do that. They will then put all those within their umbrella inside their app. That's hard to know. I had to discover that myself. No one tells you these things. So if you're looking for Baked in Vermont, you can't go to the Food Network app and do a login to Sling and get it from there. You have to go search with it through Sling, through Food Network, through a myriad of things. Maybe that's good. The reason it came up Sling is even though you don't have Sling, they added FilmRise into the collection, which is another ad-supported app. And so within Sling, whether you got the service or not, you could get programming on the Sling app. I tend to think is like there's a FilmRise app. Why would I want to go through Sling to get that? Is that somehow going to, get into my mind, I should just keep Sling then because I can get this free stuff as well. Amazon does that with IMDb, and I could take it or leave it. So in a couple of weeks when my Amazon runs out, because I've already canceled it already, I will still get IMDb on that, plus all the things I've bought from Amazon over the years. So it's up to you. Again, there's really no wrong answer. So maybe some people, like I say, just want Amazon, Hulu. So here's one other thing they could get, and maybe they could potentially get something else. I don't know. It seems to me I would go the Amazon route with having their own service, the IMDb, and their own programming, than with FilmRise, because not only does FilmRise have these ad-supported programs, a lot of those programs are also on the Roku channel. It's also on Tubi and a bunch of other stuff. So, not the greatest thing for me. But that's why it's me and My Roku. And one last question that was out there, kind of floating around, more of a questioning than a question, is people questioning PlayStation View. Not their service or anything like that, their name. It kind of bothers some people that the name PlayStation is part of this thing. I'm no expert in either economics or marketing or anything along those lines, but this is just the opinion part of the show, and this is just me thinking kind of out loud, and maybe I want to hear from you, maybe I don't, about branding. So PlayStation is the brand, View is the product. This was brought to my attention one time. I was doing some work with Charter, and I came up to say, well, I thought you were Spectrum. Was when they merged with Time Warner, and they combined the services to make Charter, but then there was people who had Charter, and there was people who had Time Warner. They made one brand named Spectrum. So he politely said to me, Charter's the business, Spectrum is the brand. So whether you like PlayStation or not, it doesn't matter, to them. Maybe they want that brand of PlayStation because they have so many devices out there that maybe they think that it's an extension of their device because it's offered on their device then. So, yeah. So that's why I question the numbers a little bit when PlayStation is kind of ranked, kind of down below. And it just doesn't, who knows? Sony is doing okay, and I think they'll be all right. So they don't need my help. But I think with all those devices out there and the fact that they have the login, for all that they carry, seems to me that they would need more than the numbers suggest that they have. And with that many devices out there. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. And what about YouTube? So there's YouTube and there's YouTube TV. YouTube is the brand. The TV is the product. You don't get YouTube when you get YouTube TV. That was one thing I kind of had a problem with that. And they were charging me $5 more for using Apple credits. But hey, it's okay. It's still a good service. But the name, is that really that much but different than PlayStation View? Nah, I don't know. So that's just my opinion. And since it's me and My Roku, that makes it okay.
Let me, oh yeah. Let me, oh yeah. Let me, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cut the diamond.
Okay, kids, it's that time again. Oh yeah, that's right. Anything for free is never free. Here comes that support thing again. He's going to want money from us. He's going to tell us all these things. I'm not. I provide the Me and My Roku podcast. Totally free. No strings attached. No nothing. All I ask is that you consider checking out archive.org. They have been the provider of bandwidth for this podcast and all of my podcasts since the early 2000s, since podcasting started, and when I got started so many years ago. They have been the greatest, and they've been wonderful, and they're fantastic, and I wouldn't be doing a disservice if I did not talk about their great service. And so I ask very nicely, very politely, if you would please check out archive.org, the keepers of the Internet Archive. They are preserving the Internet as we know it. Anything that's been out there, you can look at the Wayback Machine. Look at all the different websites, even like pets.com from back in the day or anything like that. Or radiofliction.com. And look at my picture with blonde hair from, like 1999 or 2000. Something like that. Fun stuff. We love them and thank them very much. And by we, I mean me. The Internet Archive. Please consider a donation and checking them out today. Thank you.
First couple go right.
Okay. Well, so I made the decision to go with PlayStation View. I can now authenticate all these channels. You're thinking, oh, I got to go through all these channels and authenticate all over again. A little bit of a process, but actually, if they are part of the same network, so like the Discovery Scripts, once you log into one of them, you go to log in again, it automatically logs you in. So you don't have to do it more, have to go through every single app. And it's actually in some of them, it notices that PlayStation is your login, and you only have to do it maybe 1 or 2 times. So if you've got 20 apps that you're now adding, there'll be a couple that you'll have to do, but you don't have to do all 20, maybe like 12. Who knows? But it's a fun process. Anyway, so in adding some of these things, ESPN, obviously, I find it easier with ESPN to go through their own app than to go through PlayStation or any of them, actually, because ESPN has so many channels, and then they offer so many things like ESPN3 and ESPN Plus and all these different things. ESPN Plus is a separate $5 service, but that's okay. But ESPN3 and some of and on-demand things, it's just easier to get on the app. So I authenticated that. CNBC is another one. It's not, again, there's maybe only one show I actually listen to it daily. So it's fun to watch it every now and again. But you need to log in for that. But once you log into that, you want to do NBC Sports or NBC or anything like that, it's already logged in for you. So you don't have to authenticate another app. Another ad-free, an AVOD, if we remember from last week, ad-supported video on demand. One, the reason I'm struggling there, make a sound clip out of that, is that I'm noticing that a lot of these have similar programming. So there must be a service that these people are clinging on to, probably to get ads. It's an ad network that they get these programs from. I'm imagining. But Popcorn Flicks was another one. And so if you're looking to be completely cord-cutted from subscription and cable alternatives and all that stuff and just looking for free stuff, a number one recommendation is the Roku channel. Tubi is really good. Zumo and Stir and Pluto, all very good, all different, and for me, I only keep maybe a couple of those. But I thought I'd check out Popcorn Flicks. The original Charlotte's Web was on there, and a couple other things that I thought were different. I thought some of the movies were just a little different. And the ads, not bad. They had... My big criticism or thing that I'm looking for is I'm looking for natural commercial breaks. And sometimes Tubi gets a little screwy, but at least tells you when a commercial is coming. Obviously, Hulu, even though you pay for it, you still get ads. But that's another story. But that's a wonderful channel. So that's one of the things I looked at. CNBC for authentications, if you want on-demand or live TV. The regular news clips, anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes, is available to anyone. Popcorn Flicks, an AVOD channel, ad-supported video on demand. Not bad. It's made the cut for now. I didn't delete it right away. So a couple of things to check out for you and your Roku. This is me and my Roku. That's what I do. Hopefully, by me telling you what I do, that spurs something in your brain to say, well, if he can do it, imagine what I can do. So go get a Roku and enjoy it. Or if you already have a Roku, maybe it gives you some thoughts. That's all I got for you today. Special thanks to archive.org for their support. We love them so much. And by we, I mean me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and iHeartMedia. Woohoo! And also Daily Motion. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction. Tweet me something. Just say hi. Or if you want to say hi in a more discreet, one-on-one way, you can email me at meandmyRokuPodcast. I'm sorry, let's try that again. meandmyRokuPodcast at gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed the program. I'll check in with you real soon.